Hi, we gotta stop meeting like this. And by like this, I mean so infrequently. I'm sorry? You're saying that's my fault because I'm the only person in this relationship who's in charge of uploading updates? Yeah, okay, rude, but right. Mm, whoops. Hello, my name is Megan, and this is my Flosstube channel where I update you on all things floss tube. No, cross stitch. I update you on all things cross stitch on my floss tube. That's the sentence. That's the sentence. It has been when September is when I updated you, but the beginning of September. So we're missing the entire last third of the year, almost, except for December. And I just couldn't tell you what I stitched on. Really, I don't know. A lot's happened since September. So my plan of attack today is very different. I'm just going to show you everything that I stitched on in the year, which I guess is technically a whip parade. But I'm really just going to show you things that I stitched on, like I touched. Because there are projects that have stitches in them that I did not touch this year. And they will not see the light of day because they didn't participate in the year at my choice. So they're being punished for being punished, essentially. You're welcome. I'm also not going to go in order of what I stitched because I don't know. So we're going to go by theme. So creative, I know. Because if you have been watching for a while, you'll know that I'm stitching a couple things that are like part of a series. So I'm going to sort of show all those back to back, which is actually kind of nice because then we can kind of see them all together. Because we very rarely see the families. We just see siblings at a time. So yeah, bear with me while I dismantle this. You can't see it, and I'm not going to show you this like stack. And it's only this high because it's on a chair. It's not actually that high. So yeah, bear with me. Okay, category 1, Owl Forest Embroidery. For those of you who don't know, Owl Forest Embroidery is a Russian designer. Their patterns are very, I don't even really, I guess they're like folksy. They're really beautiful, and they make their own like overdyed cotton variegated threads, and they're a lot of fun to stitch with, although I've realized that they stress me out more than necessary because I always forget what side, if it's A side or B side. There's going to be a lot of tangents in this video. I apologize in advance. So this year I stitched on 4 Owl Forest Embroidery pieces, and they were the like seasonal squares. I don't know what the family is called, but they're like seasonal squares, and over the course of the year I've kept them in this bag, but one at a time, and the rest of them are chilling in this bag. So we're gonna dismantle these ones first, and I'll show you one by one. Okay, so the first one that I stitched way back in January was Snowy Winter. These are all on the same count. These are all on the same fabric. Ask me what the fabric is. I think it's 32 count. It's definitely like, I don't love it. It kind of feels like I'm stitching on a burlap sack. So I don't love it, but it fits the vibe of the pieces really well, and like the colors are okay and whatever. So if I could go back in time and change my fabrics, I would. Okay, so I would have stitched this one. Why is this heavy? Oh, that's so embarrassing. What a hot mess. I just like left all the threads in the fabric. We're professionals. So here is where winter is, which is actually, oh, the least furthest along. I've definitely stitched more on all of them, I think. So I didn't know this when I bought them, but in the center square there are specialty stitches in all 4, which, I mean, that's the only place there's specialty stitches, so I don't want to say if I had known that I wouldn't have bought them, but if I had known that, I would have thought twice about buying them. And then everything else is just sort of full crosses. Wow, Wow, I'm actually really upset that I only stitched that much on that one, and I stitched so much more on the rest because I thought this one was further along. Whoops. I'm trying to be, as I say that, I'm trying to be not upset that these are going to be progressing in different, like they're not going to be even because they're not, like the other series that I have, like they're all the same size. I'm doing a page finish for each one. Like it's a very like solid, sturdy number. Whereas these, it's like, how many motifs do I do? And the motifs are all different. So I kind of was, anyway, well, whatever. It's fine. So that's where winter is. Oh my gosh. Oh no, that's not, okay. Shambles. Already we're in shambles. The next one that I stitched was Sparkling Spring. That was really pretty. I like the colorways in this one. The stuff in the middle is like, it's like a robin's egg. You can't see. But it's you should just take my word for it. It's a robin's egg. And this one I would have stitched April, May, and June. Oh yeah, that one's pretty close. Close-ish. So that's not bad, eh? That's pretty close. Okay, that's pretty close. I think I got I went a little heavy-handed in autumn for sure. But there's the spring one. Like you can see the variegation a little bit, and especially in this like orange. Sometimes like some of the variegation is obvious, but like some of the green, actually, you know what? Actually, all the variegation is obvious. Yeah, so these, I think actually really these are the only things I've stitched on. Nope, I was about to lie to you. I'm going to stop that sentence right there because that was a lie. The next one that I stitched on is called Northern Summer. In the middle, it's like a basket of berries, I guess. French knots. I hate French knots. I hate French knots with a fiery passion. Oh, yeah, see? Then I got, look, there's way more done on this one than the other ones. So there's summer. Excuse me, Northern Summer. I guess I'll bring you in to show you the horrible French knots. The French knots are fine. They're just in the wrong spots. But you don't know that. No one's going to know. No one's going to know. No one's going to know. Okay. How did I fold this? I see. It's like refolding a map. I can never refold a map like it's supposed to be. And then, in the months that we haven't talked, I stitched on the last one, which is called Botanist Autumn. And it's like a pumpkin and a wheelbarrow. This was actually the easiest center one. No, not a single French knot. Actually, not really a single specialty stitch, to be honest. It was all like long stitches, so pretty pleased about that. And this one looks like this. It would be great if it was right side up. Looks like this. Ta-da! So the reason why variegated threads stress me out, and I realized it in this one, I'd been suspicious all year, but it really came to fruition in this one, is the striping. So like you see how these apples are striped? Very linear, like very, I hate that. A lot of these are leaves, like it's a lot of foliage. So I'm trying to stitch the foliage like so it stripes up the stem, if that makes any sense. But a lot of that time it means that they're being stitched diagonally, which is fine. It's just kind of harder to count sometimes for diagonal stuff. So like you'll see, I'm really happy with the way these leaves look, right? And these leaves too, like they variegate down to the point. So we're trying our best to be as cognizant as we can as to how they variegate. But yeah, so that's the family of Owl Forest Embroidery. I'm pretty pleased with my progress, although I'm a little upset that all year I thought I was further along on winter than I was. These are paper patterns, although like I think you can download it onto Saga, which maybe a controversial take, but you can miss me with Saga. I'm okay with Pattern Keeper. We keep things simple in this house. I'm going to take that out because that's not supposed to be there. So I'm going to talk about my plans at the very end, but these are important. Okay, on to the next family. The next family is my GeckoRouge pieces. I have 4. Similar to the Force embroidery pieces where they are 1 a season. I've been stitching one of these a season. Surprise. They are also sisters or siblings. And I've been stitching on these for a couple of years. So if you know, you know. They are the Boho seasonal owls charted by GeckoRouge, designed by Sandra Vargas. Really bear with me. This is going to be probably a very painful segment. So they are full coverage pieces. And the winter one looks like this. There he is. So my goal this year was to get the first full row of pages finished, and we succeeded on all 4. And it's only the end of November, and I've already done the autumn one because I needed to grind that out. So the first full row of pages is finished. The only downside to that is that it has been a full year of literally just a background page. And then the next page that I stitch is also a background page. So it's fine. It's fine. But this is Boho Winter. And they're all stitched on the same fabric as well. It's 25 count easy grid fabric that I washed the grid out because I hated it because it was A, red, and B, 20 by 20. And my brain was like, so we washed it all out. And I'm gridding as I go. So yeah. So here is where winter is. I just like that they just peek. I mean, you know, none of them are centered properly. Can we take a minute to appreciate my centering skills? Beautiful. So yeah, so this is 25 count, whatever, and they give you everything. I put them on floss drops, but they give you the fabric, they give you the pattern, they give you the floss. I want to actually sort of try and hold them up, all of them at the end together. So just, oh, this is going to be so painful. We're cruising. Okay, winter. Next. Boho Spring, who is Boho Spring? Yeah. Probably my favorite, just because I really like pink. So same thing, first row is finished. Very pleased about that. So here is Boho Spring, peeking up. I will say that they're consistently not correct. Like they're the same. They're all wrong the same way. So really, they're fine. They don't know. This one is also my favorite one to stitch because it has way more block stitching than the other ones do at this point in the game, because that eyebrow is literally like one color. And it's very refreshing because there is quite a lot of confetti in like the bodies of the owls. Gosh. I'm gonna be so angry with myself. These 2 owls are held in the same bag. This was made by my mother. I picked the fabric. But she made it, and she also made a little. So yeah. We'll clean all of this up later. So then next is Boho. Oh my god, I need a nap. Okay, sorry. I got a little ahead of myself because I went for the wrong one. The next one is Boho Summer. Oh no, I really like this one too. Look at how cute. Um, yeah. I'm really excited to get like down, like I know the next page is all background, but like then I get all of this. Like there's only 3 rows. So like I get this next time, next time I attack these. So that's exciting. It's something to look forward to. He's a little bit shorter. It looks like he has less eyeballs out. He's a little bit shorter than his brothers. I feel like these are brothers. Even the pink one. Because colors are just preferences. Okay. Whoops. Boho Fall is the last one. Also really cute. They're all beautiful. Every time I'm stitching one, I'm like, this one's my favorite. And then I pull out the next one, I'm like, no, this one's my favorite. I just love how his eyes are sunflowers. I love the musical notes when I get to them. And like, he's just so cute. I will say that the picture is beautiful. The pattern though, like the way it's charted and the colors, it turns out more yellow tinted across all of the colors. I've noticed that across all 4 is that like, they're not as, clean? That's not the right word. But they're not as, I don't even know. I'll try and show you. I'll see if I can show you. So there's Autumn. See what I mean? They're all wrong, but they're all wrong together. So there's Autumn. Yay! So I'm really pleased. I think I've been stitching these for about 4 years. So I have 4 page finishes. Right? Is that right? Did I lie to you? No, there's 12 pages total. I have 4 page finishes on each of them. And I'm very pleased. This one is also in a bag made by my mother, fabric picked by me. And fall and summer get housed in here. So this is probably not going to work for me, but I'm going to try to show all of them because, like, we're ambitious, right? This is not going to work. We're going to try. We're trying it. Don't come at me. We're going to try. This might make more sense as a photo, actually. You know what? Whatever. I'm just going to I'm not going to hold them all up. That's an ambitious goal. So, winter. Quite a lot of eyeball. You get a lot of eyeball. Also has snowflakes in the background. Favoritism. Spring. Summer, which is definitely the shortest one. Less eyeballs than the rest. And then fall. Oops, that has a loose. It's so nice to see them all together because they don't talk to each other. I have them in 2 separate bags, and so they talk to their one sibling, but they don't talk to the other sibling. So I'm like really happy that they get to talk to each other for a little bit before the end of the year. Yeah, so those are my GeckoRouges. 4 page finishes this year. Very exciting. I'm very pleased about that. Now what? I guess I'll do this one. This one makes the most sense to do. This one is just punched myself in the face. This one is in a samply stitched bag. This is my cousin Jen. She vends quite often at Stitch North, and her bags are my favorite, and that's not just because I'm biased because she's my family, but because, like, they're beautiful. And, like, look at this. Look. I like this. This one was a surprise problem. I try and plan out my years in advance, and then sometimes I get smacked with stuff that I really wasn't anticipating, and it makes me upset, and then I have to do something about it. And this was this case. Sit down. This is a tangent. I should have found her before, but I found her for the first time this year, Kim Hollenbach. I have such a stitching crush on, like, the way she stitches. And I don't mean, like, well, she stitches a bunch of different ways, but I just mean, like, I really like how, like organized she is. I have such a crush on that, because I'm not. I used to be, and then I got ridiculed by my mother. Not really. And so then I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just stitch what I want. But like, I don't like that. I like to have goals and I like to like do things. At some point in the year, I think it was April, she talked about how Stitch is So Beautiful, the Facebook group for the shop, releases a pattern. No, there's a challenge every month where if you stitch 250 stitches a week on a Simply Stitch is So Beautiful piece, and update your progress in the Facebook group, you get a free chart. And I was like, oh, free? Girl, okay. So I decided that I was going to, but you have to be, and I didn't have any Stitch is So Beautiful pieces, so I had to find a Stitch is So Beautiful piece to stitch to get the free Stitch is So Beautiful charts. And I'm being very picky. Like, I'm not just doing it. I have to obviously like the pattern. I have to envision myself stitching the pattern at some point. So the pattern that I chose was, I think it's called, I have my tablet here. Let's be a professional about this, please. I'm gonna insert photos because I'm not gonna show you my tablet. It is called Fantasy Owl by the Digital Art Club AU. And the colors are stunning. And it's an owl. And I have such a weakness for owls. So I picked it for May. I wanted the May pattern. So I stitched, when I was at Stitch North actually in April, I got this fabric dyed by Rolanda. Oh, so pretty. It's tiny though. It's 32 count, and I'm stitching it 1/1, and it's too small. Like, it's tiny. I should have done 25 count, but I'm doing I'm doing 2 over. What am I doing? It's been a long time since I've touched this. I'm doing 1/1 tent stitch on this 32 count. That's what I'm doing. And it was kind of a mess because this is my first foray into tent stitch. So it took my brain a little bit of time to be like, you don't have to do the other side. You don't have to do that. You don't have to, it's one, you don't have to do it twice. So here is what I have on my Fantasy Owl, which looks like it's not a lot, but that's actually a page. Stitch is So Beautiful pages, I think, are smaller than Heaven and Earth Design pages, but that's actually a page finish. And then this gridded part is another page. And then I also have like this down here, which I'm bleeding into another page. So I technically, in the 2 months that I stitched on this year, I got a page finish. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this piece, but also like it's really just when I want the other stuff, I will stitch this. So the pattern that I won in May was, I think it's called Spring Calf. So cute. I do envision myself stitching it someday. I just don't know when. And the other piece that I won in, I don't even know, July maybe, August. It is called Mystical Golden Moon. And I love this piece. It's very dark and it's very green. And so like the colors really aren't me. But for some reason I just adore this piece. So I would really like to stitch this at some point in the future. So those are my singular Stitch is So Beautiful piece and the potential for more Stitch is So Beautiful pieces. Also, shout out to, I ordered these floss drops. Let's ignore the fact that they're tied together on thread. I ordered these floss drops from Monkey and Mouse Stitchery, who is a local to me jack of all trades, to be honest, all things stitchy related. And I literally, I ambushed her at Stitch North and I was like, can you make me these? And she was like, absolutely, I can make you these. So she made me these. She's made me a lot of these. So thank you. Thank you for being fantastic. And if you guys are interested in floss drops, check out Monkey and Mouse because they're like thick, like they're good. Cool. That's my only Stitches So Beautiful piece. The next saga I'm going to talk to you about are my HAED pieces. And bear with me because I need to figure out the order I would like to show them to you in. Let's go oldest to newest. I think that's the vibe. We're going to do that. Okay, oldest. My oldest Heaven and Earth design piece is in this bag, which I also believe is a Simply Stitched, but it's like one of her first models, I think, because there's no tag on it, but I'm pretty sure this is Jen. The pattern is irrelevant to the piece inside. It's just the biggest one that I have, and this is the biggest piece that I have, bar none. I started this piece. This is the Stitching Shelf by Amiee Stewart. And I started this piece years ago. Years and years ago. Where is the fabric? Hello? Hello? What's way down there? I started this piece years ago. This was actually the second attempt at a HAED that I did in my life. The first one failed miserably, and I haven't fallen back in love with it. But this one I started a couple of years ago, and then I was like, no, it's too much. I'm not ready. And then I met another HAED, and we fell in love. And then I thought, maybe I'm ready. And so I pulled this back out last year. I feel like that's right. Pulled this back out at some point, and just have been stitching it like a fiend. And I'm very pleased with myself and the way that it's going. My mother also has this. She copied me. She's going to be so mad at me. I love you, Mom. She copied me because she started, she really liked it. I mean, how do you not? It's the Stitching Shelf. It's a classic. I started in the bottom right corner because I really like stitching up. I don't like stitching down, so I really like stitching up. And so I started in the bottom right corner where she started it in the classic top left. And so someday we'll meet in the middle. Someday, although I don't think she's touched it since. So it's okay. It's okay, Mom. You'll get there. This is, I couldn't tell you. I think it's 25 count. That looks like 25 count. It's really nice fabric. I bought it years and years ago, so I don't really know what it is, but I really like it. Oops, my laptop. Okay, great. Oh, because I hit the 30 mark. I haven't made a video that's 30 minutes long in a million years. Wow. So my camera dims at 30 minutes. Here we are. Ta-da! So I started down here, obviously, and I stitched the little, like this skinny page. I stitched it all the way up. And then this is a whole other page. So how do I want to word this? I say this every time. So if you know, you know. I'm sorry. I'm like a doll where if you like pull the string, I just say the same thing every time. When I'm stitching this project, like you'll see right here, I've got this chunk gridded. And as I go along, I was basically gridding a page wide by a shelf tall, because each shelf is a season. I'm not stitching these in the seasons that they're in. I don't have the time for that. But so like, you know, I stitched this, and then I stitched this, and then I stitched this, and then I stitched this. This is also another victim of Kim Hollenbach because she sometimes stitches cross country. And I was like, I have a piece I could do that for. So when I got to the summer shelf this year, I did stitch it cross country just within the shelf. So like I started with I started with the most stitches, which was like 310, and then the really dark brown that's always with 310. Like you can kind of see like what's happening up here. And it was a lot of fun. Like it was really cool to sort of see it come together. And then when I got tired of doing it that way, I switched back to like the normal way that I do it, which is by color type. I won't bore you with that. But yeah, so this is, oh my God, I have my tablet right here. I should be telling you my percentages. Sorry. So the Fantasy Owl that I showed you 30,000 years ago, it is currently at 4.98%. So almost 5%. We love that. We love a 5%. So the Stitching Shelf is at 13.15%. That is a big, that's a big piece. This is only 13%. Wow. Oh my God. Well, there you go. I'll be stitching this for the rest of my life, probably. But yeah, so I really fell back in love with this piece. I'm very pleased about this. Uh, it is going to forever be, wow, I have a lot of needle minders on this, and they really like each other. We love, but like, just keep it to yourselves. Thank you. Okay. I'm not going to show you how I have my thread organized because like I did it when I was young and naive and I hate it and I'm trying to change it ever so slowly. So I'm not going to show you the disaster that's in this bag and why this bag needs to be so big. We're just going to pretend that it's all nicely on flash drops and not weird. Good? Good. Okay. My next HAED piece is the stitching love of my life. I saw her Heaven and Earth Designs posted her on Instagram 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and I don't even know. Like, I'm sure I was struck by Cupid's arrow. I'm sure that's what it feels like, and she's my favorite. Like, she's my ride or die. Her name it's June Blooms, charted by Heaven and Earth Design and designed by Margaret Morales. I love everything about her. I just like, she's one of those pieces where like I just want her done so that I can look at her, but I also love stitching on her so much I don't want her to be done. So I have a pretty big milestone on her and I'm very pleased. Okay, so she was my birthday start, I want to say 4 years ago. 2020? I can't remember. She was my birthday start, so she always comes out on my birthday. She comes out more than just my birthday, but she has to come out on my birthday because it's our birthday. And this year, literally this like week, I got the second row of pages finished on her. Oh, I'm so happy. She's on a 25 count. I don't know. It's like a nice buttery fabric. It's really nice to stitch on. But she is... I'm so pleased. Look at her. She's looking at you with her beautiful, beautiful eyeballs. Yes. Oh, I'm so happy. She's my favorite piece. Like, I haven't fallen in love with a piece the way I've fallen in love with her. I love her so much. There's a couple other Margaret Moraleses on there that I like, but I can never be unfaithful. Like, the love is just too pure. Let me give you the percentage on her. She is definitely my farthest along. She's at 37.10%. Babe, you're doing so well. So happy about this. Yeah. So I have 3 more rows and then like kind of a half row. Makes me so happy. She just makes me so happy. She's the purest love of my life. Put her back in. So she is in a bag designed by my mom. I picked out the fabric. Hydrangeas, because she has hydrangeas. And my mom made it, and she made this, and it's a boondoggle. And I have to always say that it's a boondoggle, because one time on my video, I didn't know what it was called, and then she was mad at me. I'm kidding. She wasn't. Okay, the newest member of the Heaven and Earth Designs family is in this bag. Guess who made this bag? You're right, my mom. I picked out the fabric. It's a little teeny. It's a little teeny tiny, but it's okay. It's perfect because the piece is a teeny. It's a mini. This was my new start this year. I started it for my brother's birthday in September, but it's not for my brother. It's just something that we both like, that we have in common. He's not getting this. This is mine. But I have a theory. I have a working theory that because there's 12 months in the year, I should have 12 full coverage pieces that I'm working on. Like one for each month. Not that they have to only be stitched in that month, but you know what I mean? Like, this is my September piece, but I'll stitch it whenever. So far I have, if you've been counting, I have the Stitch Is So Beautiful piece, the 2 previous Heaven and Earth designs, this Heaven and Earth design. I have the 4 Owl Forest embroideries. So I have room for 4 more. Possibilities are endless. And there is one that I do really want to start for October. But more on that in a little bit. Oh my God, October. Don't let me forget about October. I have to talk to you about October. But we'll come back to that. This is Heaven and Earth Designs. So I started this in September. I was so stoked to start this in September. I was like planning on starting it in September all year. And I decided it was going to be, look how tiny. I decided it was going to be 2/2 tent on 25 count easy grid. I went, okay, so let's talk about this because I have spent years bitching about easy grid when I was stitching on my owls. And now here I am and I have easy grid. What is your problem? The reason I had to wash out the owl, like the GeckoRouge ones, is because it was 20 by 20 block. This is 10 by 10. And how are patterns gridded? 10 by 10. So it's fine. We're fine. We're doing well. We're thriving with the gridding. It's fine. This piece is called Mini The Possibilities. That's a great question. Who is it charted by? It's charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. Who is it designed by? Why can't I read that? Walking Melons. It's discontinued. And I got Mini, but I got Max Color. Max Color? Yeah, I got Mini, but I got Max Color, and I regret it a little bit. So I started this in September, and I pretty much just stitched this in September. Like, this is pretty much all I stitched in September, and this is how far I got. Wow, I know it's just background, but, like, this is Evie. This is already Evie, his little foot. He's right there. Is his little needle minder. I also may or may not have bought all 9 evolutions in needle minders. It's fine. I lost my mind a little bit because I was so excited to start this project. But like, look at the colors. I'm so happy about this. I'm so pleased. We're doing so well with this. And I don't mind the feel of the gridded fabric either. Sometimes it's kind of scratchy, but that one's not bad. So this one is at, nope. This one is at 12.17%. So this one is almost as far along, percentage-wise, as the stitching shelf. And I stitched it like for 1 month. And it's 2/1 tent. And it's going really well. I do actually really like the tent. So I'm very pleased about that. And I got this, my mom and my brother bought me this little Evie thing to go with the zipper pull. It's so cute. So those are my Heaven and Earth pieces. October. I did not forget about October, but I have to go and get something. So give me a second. So this has its own little story. This is a standalone piece. It doesn't have a family, unfortunately. In October, I had the absolute pleasure and delight of going to visit my friend who was living in Scotland. So I got to go to Scotland for like 10 days in October. Oh my God. I would need like a whole other 3-hour video just to tell you how amazing Scotland was and how just like, my family is from Scotland, and I don't know, this is going to sound like such a stupid thing to say, but like, I've been to England and it was great. Like, I loved it. I went to Scotland and my blood felt like it was home. I don't know if that makes any sense. I was like, I have to stay. I can't go back. I have to marry a Scottish man and stay here. I have to. I have to. But it was amazing. We did a lot of castles. We did a lot of Edinburgh because she lives in Edinburgh, and it was a fantastic trip. I could only take one piece. I could only take one cross-stitch piece with me to Scotland, and I did not want to take a large HAED piece. I needed to take like one that has a paper pattern and one that's fairly straightforward. Well, I forgot that this piece is not actually very straightforward, so we miscalculated that just a little. But what I took for the month of October, so pretty much the only thing I stitched on in October was this, The Spooky House by Sandra Parlow. Published by X's and O's. I've had this for years. It is, I love this piece. I think it's such a stunning piece. It is the bane of my existence because I have never had to rip out more than I have had to rip out in this project. I love stitching on it, but I also dread it because I'm like, I'm going to have to frog something massive. So like one time I had stitched all the grass and then I realized I had messed up and I had to unpick all of the grass and re-stitch all of the grass. I'm working up. So like I stitched the grass, I stitched the tree, so the tree's finished, and I'm building the house one turret at a time. And then I'm going to end with the moon because the moon also has blending filament in it. So, I love this piece. I hate this piece. I really want this piece finished. Once I finish this piece, I'm going to start the Heaven and Earth design that I like for October. But I have to finish this piece first. So I managed to get a healthy amount finished whilst I was traversing the globe. I can't remember where it was the last time, but this is where it is now. Hey! Wow, we have like half a house. We're pretty close. So as you can see, the tree is finished, the grass is finished. What I did in Scotland, I can tell you. So I did this whole chunk up here, like I did, like this stuff was kind of finished, but like I did all of this, and all of this. It's pretty good. I'm just saying. Well, not just in Scotland, but over the course of the month of October, I did all of that. So all I have left is the rest of that one turret, and then the big turret on the side, and then the moon, and then I'm done. So probably not next year, but maybe the year after. And this fabric is the nicest fabric I'm stitching on, period. It's very soft and buttery, but I don't know the count. It's probably 32, 2/2. So the windows also have the blending filament. And I hate it. I hate listen. When you stitch full coverage, you stitch primarily with just cotton floss. So when you have to, branch out and stitch with scratchy, I've got Kreinik in here too. Like there's Kreinik in the windows. There's Kreinik there right there. Kreinik, blending filament with white. Anyway, it's not the greatest. So I'm really upset that I have to do the moon. But I can't not do it. It's supposed to glow in the dark. I actually haven't tried to see if it does glow in the dark. Maybe I should leave this out to charge, and then I'll look and see if it actually glows in the dark. Because if it doesn't even glow in the dark, then why bother? Right? Right. Yeah. Cool. So that is my October piece. Put that down there. Okay, so the last saga is going to bleed into my plans for the new year. So I scripted this perfectly. The last family of patterns I'm going to show you are my Bella Filipinas. I have two. And they are my cross-stitch journey. That's not really true. My big girl cross-stitch journey started with can you see? She's right there. She's framed in this frame. She's the winter Celtic lady from, I don't want to say Lavender and Lace, but like Mirabilia. I think it is Lavender and Lace, actually. That's the winter one. She's been up all year. We're not going to talk about it. But the ladies with the dresses and the beads and the face, and they're beautiful. That's how I started. And when I started, I was very monogamous. So I would just stitch on one and get it done. And then as it happens with everybody, I found Flosstube, and that just all fell to shit. So, but I've been really craving stitching on a beautiful lady with a dress and beads and all that stuff. And like, there's Nora's and there's Mirabilia's and there's all these options, and I was overwhelmed. And then all of a sudden on Instagram, I saw Bella Filipina posted one. And it was one of a set of 3. And I was like, a set? Sign me up. So I bought the set. And so I'm stitching 2 currently, and I will start the 3rd. They are, one of them is already in my frame. They're also what I'm going to end the year stitching. So I have 2 right now. I'm going to stitch both of them for the month of December, see how much I can get done. And then I'm going to start the 3rd one in January. But the first one that I started is Hanan. So they are Filipino goddesses. This one is the morning. I think it's stars and the moon. And I started with Hanan last year. So 2024, this was my new year, new start. And like I just, with the wings and this halo and the beads, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so happy. And she's sitting in this bag, which this bag was made by my aunt. And I love the size of it. I wish I could cram all of them in here, but I can't. So I've got like all the junk and the beads and stuff. So that's Hanan. She's going to be 2 years old come January 1st. She's unfortunately in the frame because she's what I'm going to stitch today. But this is where she's at. I started in the middle. This is such an awkward. I started in the middle and then I like stitched her up, like up to her face so that I could talk to her. And then I'm going to stitch the rest of her all the way down. The fabric is the called for, it's by Be Stitched Me. I think it's called Cosmos. We'll get there. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just do some research that I should have done before I... Opalescent. Oh, yeah. Cosmos by Be Stitched Me. I did not get the opalescent one because I just figured with the beads and the Krynic, like it was going to be sparkly enough. I didn't need... Also, I switched out all the Krynic for Treasure Braid because I actually like Treasure Braid the most out of those metal threads. So that's Hanan. She's, I already said that, 2 years old. She will be 2 years old in 1 month. Her sister, who was my New Year, New Start last year, is Tala of the Stars. So one's facing this way, one's facing that way, and one's facing head on. And she's obviously the head on. But look at the colors of her dress. Stop. Stop. She's going to be 1 year old come January 1st. And I started her completely different. I started her from the very bottom, and I am working up because, as I said previously, I like to stitch up. So those are her feet, except they're in her dress, obviously, and we are working upwards. Same fabric, Be Stitched Me, for all 3. So these 2 are, I'm repeating myself, I know, I'm sorry. These 2 are what I'm going to stitch on for the rest of the year. And then January 1st, I'm going to start the 3rd and youngest sister, who is also, because I really like her colors. She's my favorite because I really like her colors. I realized that I whispered that too quietly and you wouldn't have been able to hear it. So I got all of the stuff except for the DMC floss. And this is, Mayari. Look at her colors. So excited. And I stitched, on Hanan, I stitched 1/1 skin. So I obviously have to do the other 2 1/1 skin, but I like kind of hate the 1/1 skin. It's fine, whatever, it's fine. But I'm going to do the same with her. I'm going to start from the bottom and work up. And I don't bead as I go because I put them in Q-snaps. So I love beading. So I'm actually really, I like to save beading till the very end because sometimes it's my favorite part of the piece. But she's going to be my New Year, New Start. And I'm really excited. I just have to go and get the DMC floss for her. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading this little blurb that's down here. That's really cute. Do they all have this? She is one of the 3 charming daughters born to a mortal mother and the supreme god Bathala. At night, when everything is dark, she glimmers as she bestows the power over the moon, giving divine strength and beauty to everyone who believes. What a little queen. Okay, so yeah, there you go. That's everything that I stitched on this year, plus what I'm going to start on January 1st. Bleeding into my plans. Are you sitting down for this? Because this is going to be a very complicated, I should almost have a flow chart. So, I'm starting that Bella Filipina piece on January 1st. However, Because I have fallen victim to Kim Hollenbach in the best possible way, and I say with all love in my heart. I really want to stitch. Actually, that's not true. It's not really Kim's fault. I wanted to participate in the 2025 HAED SAL, but none of the pieces that were offered last year were interesting to me. And like, you have to do 6 pages in order to like win. And like, I could stitch those 6 pages, like, you know what I mean? Like, why would I stitch 6 pages on you pattern that I don't really like when I can just stitch 6 pages on a pattern that I do like? But I was waiting on bated breath for the 2026 SAL pattern releases because I do really want to win. I really want to try. I really want to challenge myself to do the 6 pages. And because Kim makes it seem so effortless, which I know it's not, but she makes it seem that way. Like, I really want to try. So the 2026 patterns were released. If you know, you know. If you don't, here's what they look like. Can you guess which one I chose? You're right. It's the owl. How did you know? It's so like, hello. Of course I picked the owl. It's called The Wise and the Brave. I really love the robin and the owl. I think they're the cutest little things. So I'm going to participate, obviously. And I kind of have my attack plan already because I'm going to start. You have to get 6 pages, right, over the course of the year. So I'm going to try and stitch the pages that have the birds on them. The robin and the owl. I'm going to try and stitch those 6 pages first. Normally, I try and save my favorite thing for last, so I have motivation to, like, get there. But, like, I just really want to stitch those birds. They're so cute. So because I want to participate in this SAL, and you need to do 6 pages, you have to have 6 finished pages by, like, December 30th or something like that of next year. I think it works out to being about 250 stitches a day, which, you know, is a lot. I'm going to do it 10 stitch. I'm going to do it 2 over 2 10 stitch on, I wanted it to be gridded fabric, but it's not gridded fabric. I don't have it with me. It's a nice fabric though. It's just not gridded. I'll have to grid as I go, which is fine. So I'm going to do 2 over 1 10 stitch. So it takes half the time to stitch. And I'm going to try and do 250 stitches like a day. It'll probably be like 2,000 stitches like a week. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stitch on the SAL on the weekend when I have the most stitching time, and then throughout the week I'll stitch on something else if I make the 2,000 stitches in the weekend. So my hyper-focus piece next year is going to be the SAL. For now, if I get dejected or like, you know, whatever, I change my mind, then whatever, I have the freedom to do so. But the SAL is going to be my hyper-focus piece next year. So then let's chat about the rest of my pieces. So you can see I went to Costco. There. My Sandra Vargas owls, the Boho, the GeckoRouge owls, the full coverage owls, are taking a break for a year because I am just not looking forward to stitching 4 more pages of solid background. So they're taking a break. They are going to have a nap for a year. But everything else is going to rotate into next year. But I'm going to make it a little bit like I'm going to steal from Anne, the Max Color Stitcher, and I'm going to do like a rotation of probably 1,000 stitches on each piece that's not the SAL. So I'll stitch the SAL on the weekends, and then I'll stitch 1,000 stitches on whatever, whichever, whoever, with the exception of, sorry, I had a squirrel moment. With the exception of, I think, my Owl Forest embroidery pieces, the squares, the seasonal ones. Every Wednesday I go over to my parents' house and I have like dinner with my family and I hang out with my brother and we're always watching a show. So I think I'm going to take my Owl Forest embroidery to my house and stitch those on every Wednesday because they're way more portable than any of my other pieces. I think that's the plan. If not, then I'll just go into the rotation of 1,000 stitches. Sorry, I'm watching this man walk he's just living his life and I'm being nosy. Yeah, so that's the plan. There's a couple exceptions. Exception number 1 is May, the month of May, because people do Mira May. I'm not stitching on any Miras, but at that point I will be stitching on 3 Bella Filipinas. And I feel like that's Mirabilia adjacent. It's in the same wheelhouse. So in the month of May, I would like to stitch only on the Sal, and then only on the 3 Mira pieces that I have. The next exception is going to be July, because July I have an entire week where I just can't stitch. I volunteer for a program in Toronto, and I think there's no time for me to stitch. So July is most likely going to be, I'm going to have to really grind to get those stitches on, what's it called? Wise and the Brave in July. And then the only other thing I want to touch in July is my June blooms. That's it. And then the other exception, so I mean, every month I'm going to figure out an exception for every month, I'm sure. September, I also really want to focus on my new Evie piece because it's the September piece. And then October, I want to stitch on the house, the spooky house. So for the most part, I'm going to do 1,000 stitch rotation with the exception of 4 months are going to have additional focus pieces. Yeah. So that's my plan. I'm really excited to participate in the SAL. I do have to go and I do still need the thread for it. I think it's 80 or 90 colors. And the other debate I'm having with myself is amalgamating all of my pieces thread into like trying to build my own little master set. And I really want to do that. My mom has that system. And I'm really jealous because you just sit down and you stitch you can start whatever and you have all the colors, and like I really like that. But I also really like just grabbing my bag and knowing that everything I need is in the bag, right? Like this is the Pokemon piece. All of the colors are in here. I can take it and go. So I'm of 2 minds as to if I want to try and figure out a master set or if I just want to kit up Wise and the Brave, which means I'll have so many duplicate colors, but I don't know if I care. Undecided. I have to go and get Bella Filipina colors anyway for the next one that I'm starting, so I'm really just thinking I'm going to do that. I asked for a Michael's gift card from my friend for Christmas, so hopefully if she gets me a Michael's gift card, then I can spend not all of my own money on just thread. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have for you. I'm just looking around to see if I missed anything. I don't think so. So that's 2025. I won't be probably updating again until February, I would assume. Unless I can find some time in early January. January and February are the busiest work months for me. I work in an accounting firm, so that's like tax season. So I will be busy. But I'll try. Don't hold me to it, though, because obviously we only see each other a couple times a year. But hopefully that's different. I don't want to make promises I can't keep, but I'm going to try. But certainly not at the beginning of January, because all I'm going to stitch on is these 2 ladies, and then I'll have more in January because I will have started 2 additional pieces. So yeah. So because I won't see you, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Stay warm, stay safe. And happy stitching. Yeah. Wow. Well, it was good to see you.